I was like waiting for it to start proper. That like anticipation of oh, we are live, everyone.
Are we?
Welcome. We are. You can see that's when it changes on the Zoom. You know we is live. That is the signal. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Perspectives. This is the show over here on the end of the week platform where we talk to super interesting people like Big Ox.
Hey,
My name is Holden Stefan Roy. Typically, it's co-hosted with Liddy Bro Flacco. Unfortunately, he's unavailable at the moment, so we're gonna run through this. We like to start off the show just a little bit of contextualization of how it all came to be, a little history for everyone who's new here, and it has to do with this one-time Liddy Bro Flacco, who is definitely connected to End of the Week, was
Billy
working on a
Bro.
project along with Jesse James, and they were doing their thing, and that happened to run through an engineer in Montreal named Merker Miyagi. And he shared one of these tracks. I discovered it because Merker, apparently, like a typical New Yorker, doesn't do things like share the music of everybody he works on because he doesn't want to have to do it for everybody, something along those lines. And so I caught that, I saw it, I clicked it, and then I did the review for that project. I baited Mr. Liddy Bro Flacco into an interview. After he went through the interview, in his words, he found it quite therapeutic and felt like on some hood shit, he should be moving this over to all the homies. And thus we ended up on end of the week and the homies started running through
You
and it's
dub?
just kind of turned into this experience upon which, we like to start it off with like a big question, but a little question before the big question so that the big question makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah,
So the
man.
way Flacco words this is could you tell us where you're from, where your parents are from, and a little introduction into who you are?
So, yeah, if you have to answer those questions, well, where I'm from, the first question, I was born in Montego Bay, Jamaica. You know, they make
Say
fun of
word.
Jamaica sometimes. They say, we're from the beach. I'm from the beach. You know what I mean? Like, I was at the beach every day of my life growing up. Not every day, but nearly every goddamn day. My grandfather was a fisherman. You know what I mean?
Woo.
He's part Irish from my dad's side. My other grandfather from my mom's side. Well, my mom was born in Jamaica too. So is my dad. My dad's actually born in the Bahamas. His parents prior to that were part African and Irish. Then Jamaica. You know what I mean? He moved to
Yeah.
Jamaica where he met my mom. My mom is Jamaican. I don't know what part of Africa they took us from, but you know how that whole story go. But but my grandfather, my mom's father, Leonard Hawthorne, you can Google him. He was the Caribbean and South American boxing champ. Yeah, and he moved to America, to Jersey, to Newark, to try to capture the North American championship. But the first two people he fought died. You know what I mean? So he
Like
retired.
actually died?
They
Like
died.
he
One died in the ring, and one died right after the fight.
does that
So
make you too deadly for boxing?
I mean, it's when you if you're like when he tells me like when you box, you not even though the whole sport is about thrashing and hurting someone, I mean, there's still art to it. And you're never out there trying to like end somebody's life. You know what I mean? That's never that's something that's not like even hurt somebody really. You know what I mean? You want to be a fat match man to man. There's gonna be people getting hurt, but who withstands the time and wins. That's competition. But if you do something where he takes somebody's life, he couldn't deal with that because he wasn't, he's not a killer.
Right.
So he retired from boxing after. So you asked about parents and whatever else. Some other
Yo,
grandfather was a fisherman. My other grandfather was a boxer.
man, you like came at that in a really cool answer. I don't get a lot of great answers with such history baked into it. Honestly, that sets the story great because I can tell you at this point, I talk to nobody from Jamaica at this point in life where we start things off.
I'm
Because I
on a
do have,
beautiful place, that little island.
yeah,
It's an
I would
island of
love to go.
everybody, where everybody, the whole saying is that everybody, all people, one people. You know what I mean? I be saying that wrong, but it's all about facts. It might not be quote unquote on that one, but it's as similar as such. It's like everybody, one people, no matter what. You know what I mean? Like no matter where you're from, facts and people, you all rich. You know what I mean? There's no like all one people. Like I never closed the door there ever. Never locked the door there in my life. You know what I mean? And I don't think they ever locked the door. There's no
So
reason to ever lock. There's never a reason to lock a door or a window when I was growing up in Jamaica. You know what I mean? That's just how the people were. Everybody took care of
that's,
everybody.
that's actually really beautiful, man.
Yeah.
But yeah. So to get it off started about you now, we gotta pivot over to you. I do have my big opening question. You may have heard it before, but it kind of starts off with my girlfriend, and she's washing the dishes this one time, and she's got her phone open, and she's playing that Black Eyed Peas song. I got a feeling, ooh. She's vibing and she's
I
dancing. She's
got a
doing her thing,
feeling.
and I started thinking about this song, and I said to myself, when the fuck did this song become chores music? Right? Because if you think about this track and you run it back like 10, 11 years, this is that middle of the night, everybody's drunk, highlight, everybody's vibing track. It's like party times. It's like glorious. It's out there. Even the students was doing videos to it. You
Yeah.
run it 10, 11 years into the future. The song doesn't change at all because it's a song and songs don't change. But we change so much as people that the context that surrounds the song evolves so much that we took it from fun music to music we put on when we're doing boring shit to go back to fun times. And that's kind of the evolution of
Exactly.
music.
That's all it is. It's like, the song brings up even like the hormones at times that song used to create back then, you know what I mean? So it's like it's
Facts.
almost one thing used to like, I'm bullshitting doing nothing right now. Let me at least enjoy it in a certain manner this brings to me. You know what I
It
mean?
makes all of that shit more tolerable. And it just got me thinking about musics and vibes, right? Like the little 20-year-olds, they don't even know that they be running around with the pop smokes and whatnot, and that's going to become the soundtrack to their dishes washing in the future. And they don't know that when I hear that music, it becomes the soundtrack to my dishes washing right now. And that's just kind of the nature of this music. But given that music is vibes and everything kind of taps in at different phases in life, I started to notice this strange phenomenon with MCs, interviews, and the way artists approach it. Everybody kind of starts the story when they're like 10, 12 years old, when they first really get into hip hop, or they first start writing, or they first start caring about music. But the music's really about vibes and environments and context. The music's definitely something that's been around from the very beginning when you pop out the womb and whatnot. There may even be a song playing at that time, being absorbed into you, even if you can't remember it. I know this is like super
Remember.
impactful because I was like 5 years old, right? And I can remember being in the crib in my dad's the apartment with my parents, Montreal. We got the gray boxes all over, right? The amp, the tape deck, the fucking radio, the preamp, all these wires going to speakers everywhere to get that surround sound at home. And my dad would be busting his Led Zeppelin tapes and things like that during the daytime, but at nighttime it would be straight the club music from Montreal would be broadcast live, so it'd be a lot of that techno shit. My mom, she's got these like love songs kind of going, the musicals, that whole other energy that she was kind of feeling. And all of this was going on before I had any control over what I listened to. It was more like they listened to stuff and I had to listen to stuff with them until one day I broke out and that becomes like the next chapter. So I was hoping, Mr. Big Ox, you could run us all the way back down to the youngest Big Ox you could remember being in Jamaica and tell us a little bit about what it sounded like to be you, a bit of the vibes growing up, because keep in mind, most of us watching did not grow up in Jamaica.
All right, to my memory, and because I've been told these stories, because even to today, like how most people need like quiet to sleep and like to relax. Like I need to have to be like shit going on around me to relax. Like being in the woods is the scariest place and thing in the world. I'd rather you drop me off at any hood on the planet. You know what I mean? And I'll be most comfortable there. I don't know why. What's weird about that? I need to be around people and energy. But from what I was told, even from young, like my mom said when I was very young, in Jamaica they have like block jams and things and such. Before it was like concerts and like it was like block parties really. So she was like, she'd go out and just put me on the speaker for the whole party because the speaker would just make me go to sleep. You know what I mean? So it was like
That's wild.
that's exactly where I think my shit as far as music wise started from. You know what I mean? I've had like, family members who've done music also before in different manners, you know what I mean? Because my family's heavy in the church. So it's like,
Mm.
so it's like Christian shit, you know what I mean, all over
Nah, man,
Caribbean,
I heard, yo, the church
America.
grind's a whole thing. Like, even in Montreal, we got this, what I call the church circuit. A bunch of folk of a certain age went to a certain church, and like 20 of them are still in music today in the scene. And
Facts.
like, they're like a force because the church taught you to perform, the church taught you to sing, the church
Yeah.
taught you to sound engineer, like live tech shit. Like, the church be teaching people how to be
I mean,
musicians.
isn't that what it's for? Church is life. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's not all about like, at least my growing up at church, it was like, it was getting the people together I don't know, in a spiritual manner.
I got,
And you know what I
we
mean, it was
had
never
like
always
hella,
about
there's mad
like
different
follow us.
experiences.
We're the best because our guards are the best, or who you know what I mean, or whatever else may be. Where a lot of shit be going on nowadays. It's just weird, but it is what it
Nah,
is.
I hear you, but that's blessed. So you got to go in and kind of you were involved. Were you involved with the church music yourself, or was it more
Nah, I
just the
was asleep.
ambiance of it?
I was called a sleeper. Like going walking into church was like numbing my soul. Like I couldn't even sit through like any. If I sit down in church for 5 minutes, I am knocked. I don't do. There's something about it, and I mean, it's just facts. Unless we were doing like or get all the kids together to do musical stuff, but I really didn't. I really didn't pick up on it really then at the time. You know what I mean? Like I played a little trumpet. You know what I mean? Did a little drums, but it was like I lived my. I moved from Jamaica when I was like 9. I moved to Miami for 1 year. Then I went to New York. I went to lived. I lived in I say Yonkers, but Yonkers in Mount Vernon because I moved every year, every single year.
Right.
I was like, all right, all right. This 1 year lease is done. Boom, move again, move again, move again, move again. I mean, I moved like every single year. So I say Yonkers, Mount Vernon, really, then Portchester, yeah. But my
But you're
stepdad,
you're
who
still you were in Jamaica too at 9.
I was in Jamaica till 9, 8. I
Right.
was 8, 8.5. Who knows? You know what I mean? But whatever. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? Like when I came here, I didn't even know what hip hop was really. We wasn't listening to no rap music down there at that time. That was like, you know what I mean? Late
What
80s.
do what did you listen to in Jamaica in the 80s?
A lot, believe it or not, a lot of as far as other than reggae, a lot of reggae, of course. You know what I mean? You can't avoid that. But a lot of country. A lot of Jamaicans
Hmm.
listen to it, believe it or not. You know what I mean? A lot of what's the name too? Who's the light skinned dude that sing a lot?
I'm not sure which, like
The
Drake.
light skinned dude
Like
that sing a lot. Not who's the other blonde one that sing from back in the day? I sound crazy right now.
yo, I'm born in '87, so this one's a toughie for me.
Nah, I'm talking about late 80s, early. Who's the old school singers?
I'm
I don't know, but I remember we family always had the albums where like the Disney albums too. You know what I mean? So all the Disney movies, that
right,
was like a
right.
big thing. So we like listen to all the soundtracks, all the Disney movies coming up together
Yeah, that's wild. Like
and
in
know
a
more
cool
about
way.
heart and shit like that. And if you listen to the structure of Disney songs, it's like it's weird. Like I think that I eventually like helped me with my musical situation, but who knows? But yeah, so
No,
I
you're
moved to
not
Yonkers,
even.
Mount
Hold on, you're not
Vernon.
even like the first person to like bring up the fact that like Disney and other various
It's
kids
facts though.
musicals, like yo, because Disney employs like top tier fucking songwriters and writes
Yeah,
ethereal
but
bangers that
them
last
joints are fire
generations.
too. When you young, listening to them joints,
Yo,
you're like, oh shit.
them joints is fire as an adult. Like, yo,
I mean,
sometimes I'd be watching a Disney movie and like, yo, you're like I was watching the new Aladdin and like the Jasmine's like You Won't Keep Me Quiet track. That shit's a fucking bop. And let's be
all I gotta
real,
say about that is the devil
the
don't
Elsa
sleep.
track there, the fucking like the like Let It Go or whatever, that might be one of the best Disney songs of all time.
Wax on
It's
wax,
like,
no tax. Give it to me, I ain't
yeah,
paying you back.
that's so were you like when you were young though, were you like into music at all? Like were you singing,
I was so
dancing,
into music, man. Like, yo,
like as
because
a
like
performer?
I grew up like so I moved to Yonkers, Mount Vernon. It was me, my older brother, and my older sister. You know what I mean? My older brother's year older than me. My older sister is 2 years older, 3 years older than me. So I'm like, I forgot what grade I was in. You know what I mean? Smart Jamaican kid getting straight A's because in the schooling in Jamaica is a little faster than in America's. At least at public school he was. I don't know. So I was
Hold
like
up, so like
lazy
you're
in
saying
school.
like so like you guys is like shit is like advanced in the sense that like your grade
As far
three
as
is
like
like
grade wise, like if I'm in third grade in Jamaica, if I come to America third grade, my mathematics and writing and is just like a little bit faster. So like most times, a lot of us when we come in middle school, we get pushed a grade ahead. You know what I mean? Other than like stupid ass niggas, but just regular shit. It's like you know what I mean. Like this is normally taught. I'm serious. This normally taught. It's almost like say what we're given in America, kindergarten wise, we're given in preschool, pre kindergarten in Jamaica. You know what I mean? So it's like you know what I mean? I don't know why, but this is how it's based.
that's
So I was
actually
like, I
kind of
was in
like a
school
super
like
interesting thing.
getting straight A's, not doing nothing or like trying. You know what I mean? so then I remember like my first year here, my sister had 2 tapes, Slick Rick and Big Daddy Kane, my nigga. Like, yo, that shit changed my fucking life. Son, I heard like, come on, I'm coming from Jamaica. I didn't really hear him rap like that.
Right,
I remember
right.
going like
So this is
Brooklyn
like your
Visit Family.
okay, okay,
That
okay.
shit popping out of cars. But I'm like, what the fuck is this? Son, my sister had a tape deck. She had Slick Rick and Big Daddy Kane. Son, that shit changed my soul of living. I could not understand people were making music like this, B. And like the shit, I was just like, the moment I heard it, that was my most loved thing in the world. The moment I heard Slick Rick and Big Daddy Kane, I was like, these 2 niggas are musical word gods to me. Who are they? What is this? What the fuck is this? Somebody tell me. You know what I mean? Like, it like blew my mind. This existed. I had no, like, I just, being a kid moving from Jamaica, you just don't, you're not even aware of it. And then you hear it like a tape deck. You hear it coming out niggas speakers and shit, walking around, going from and to school here and there. You just don't know. Like, what is that? You hear that sound, that, you know what I mean, the beat. It's like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, there's something going on I don't know about that I need to know. And then you hear the radio for the first time. You hear the songs like, oh shit. But the radio was different. You would hear some joints where you just wouldn't hear I don't know. This shit that really affected me at least at the time. You know what I mean? And it's the
So like
times I was
wouldn't
hearing, it's the
so
times
like
I
the
was hearing the radio
singles.
from like
So if I understand that, the
8
songs
to
that you
9
like
home,
really
going to school and you know what I mean? Say it again.
so like the songs you really liked weren't necessarily on the radio, or
And maybe this is the times I heard the radio. You know what I
mm,
mean? Because the only time I really heard the radio was either going to school, and then most times my mom is washing me and my brother up in the whip to get there. You know what I mean? So it's like I ain't hearing the music like that. Or coming home or sitting in the car on a trip or something. And then most times, our parents, everybody else is already from Jamaica reggae. So when they put the radio on, you ain't hearing it. The new hip hop like that. You hearing the reggae mostly. Sometimes you might get the hip hop come through. You're like, oh shit, what is that? What the fuck was that, nigga? You know what I mean? Like, but when it hit. But I just remember the time. I remember I lived in Mount Vernon time. I remember the room I was in. We had the attic bedroom. I remember my sister had one side of the attic bedroom. I had the other side of the attic bedroom. And she had a tape deck. And this is music. She had 2 tapes, B. Slick Rick and Big Daddy Kane. Son, it was like I changed my religion that day. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, yo, my whole life has changed. Like, I see the world through different goggles. Like, I didn't want to hear nothing but that. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, I want to do nothing, even like.
so you're like 10, like let's say 9, 10 when this is
Yeah,
happening.
exactly.
And so you're like right at that age where hip hop then is coming into full force. And so you get to go through your whole high school life and shit with the golden era.
Yeah,
That's actually pretty fucking wild.
yeah. And what's crazy was too, like, if I think about it, like my favorite first group of any artist in the world was Nirvana.
Yo, which Kane and Slick Rick albums are they?
Slick Rick with Indian Girl on it, of course, nigga. Don't question that one. But I'm not sure which Kane it was, but I'm sure it's one of the earliest Kanes. What was Kane first, 2 or 3? And I can tell you exactly which one. Man, you want me to look at it?
Hold up. I could pull up the Spotify.
Yeah.
And we can check that right quick. It's weird that the Spotify is the first thing I would think to check, eh? Long Live the King, I think, is the first one.
Nah, Long Live the King, son. Woo! Son, that right there. Yo, that shit is the Bible to me, son. Like, yo. And the Slick Rick song, Slick Rick album, like, I play that every day to myself nonstop, every opportunity that I could. Like, if I knew when I could get to it and have that and be able to listen to it.
Did you? So how did you listen to music? Did you have like a Walkman or something, or was it just like when you could?
I mean, not at that age. The Walkmans ain't come out. Any niggas is broke. Unless only way you get a Walkman if you snatching a Walkman. At that point, when he's young, you know what I mean? Like, niggas ain't buying a Walkman.
Everybody had that shit when I was there.
Like, yo, bag somebody for you ain't got one, or use somebody else's. You know what I mean? Like, until that time come, but like, you know what I mean? Like, but then middle school hit, I mean, and then
So
I learned more. But me, my time was like what I was saying, like me being real good in school. I went to a private school. My middle school cost more than my college. You know what I mean? My seventh grade of school a year tuition is cost more than most college tuitions right now.
so hold on. What are the advantages then? It's like, so what did the perks of your private school be?
I mean, it's just ranked educationally wise in the country. So when you're moving on from there, you know what I mean, you have more advantage to other schoolings that look at those schools as the ones that bring certain criteria of students that, you know what I mean, much better education basically. Like Big Sis told you.
Fair enough.
That ass
I
like, but
mean,
on some real shit, like, you know.
like I
And
heard about the
and more
90
open
student
education.
class sizes at one point. I was like, okay, that's serious.
Yeah. And I can't lie, like it was working in the beginning, and like, you know, but I figured it out and I rode my wave, you know what I mean? But like I was saying, like my first group of music I ever loved was Nirvana. Like, I mean, I guess that was something going through school in middle school, like, you know what I mean? It was Nirvana, Tribe Called Quest, and all that early hip hop shit, you know what I mean? But still, Slick Rick and Big Daddy Kane was like, to me, the gods of life, regardless of what, you know what I mean? But you move on, like even Keith Murray, who I battled since and beat. Right.
Did you just say, you just casually threw that in? Yeah,
I
battle
mean,
and
I
beat
don't want
Keith
to
Murray.
say like that because you know what? He was fucking twisted when I battled him. But he was adamantly want to battle. So I was like, all right, fuck it, nigga, we gonna do it. You know what I mean? I was like, all right, 16-16. You know, let the crowd pick.
And
Whatever. I
that's why.
watched him, but I can't lie, he was twisted. So I'm not even like, I want to put it out there like that.
Was
But
that
so
at
every
end of the
time I
week?
bump into him and see him, do I tell him? He say he remember, but I know he don't remember. Because right after I watched him, I met the shorty with my other niggas, so we pulling out next to BB King's parking lot, right, on 42nd. And this nigga had his shirt off and jumped on somebody's hood driving off. So I'm saying he was washed when I battled him, so I can't like say it's a true win, but he went for it, and I said I obliged and still won. And so there was a BB King's we did.
Yeah, I
With
was gonna say, yeah. What is a
yeah.
BB King's?
I don't know, is Van still in here? I don't know if Van still in here. I can't remember. I want to remember exactly. Ill Dub did some BB King's.
It's
So
a famous restaurant that used to have a lot of live acts in it.
Yeah, and like the exclusive acts on 42nd Street.
Right.
Exclusive
so,
what?
They had a few. They had one on 42nd Street. They had, like each borough they had a couple.
Yeah, well, I don't think each borough.
They were a famous restaurant, like dining.
BB King's in Brooklyn.
Yeah, it was. I don't know if it's there now.
Nah, well, BB King's the one. The BB King's I'm talking about is a club.
It's a club.
Yeah, you also ate there too. You could eat at BB King's too.
Well, to me, it was like the most famous on 42nd Street in Manhattan.
That's hilarious. Danny's like, you can get food there, and like Big Ox is like,
it's a big venue on 42nd
there?
Street. You know what I mean? Like to have a big venue that does hip hop on 42nd Street is big. You know what I mean? And I remember EO Dub hosted an event there that I went to. I mean, was that like Keith Murray was involved in it, and whatever. So after it,
so it was both. It was a restaurant at a venue.
But he wanted to battle me and he got washed. Keith Murray, I love you, my nigga. I see him since, and he said he remember, but I don't think he remember.
BB King's was originally a famous blues club.
Oh yeah, of course, we know who he is.
That expanded to other music.
No, I don't know who. I don't know any of this.
Right, he doesn't know any of this. That's what I'm saying.
You gotta understand.
My guy.
I got a whole different set of stuff.
Explaining to the audience. So it was
BB King,
like a real famous.
Like I probably would fail a quiz question.
Other music. So they started playing hip hop.
I might probably fail too. So I can't even lie about it.
Other songs other than blues. But it's a famous blues club that also started incorporating rap and hip hop into their performances and acts.
And the way Big Ox is describing it,
they're also famous for their food too. Okay,
that's what I hear you.
Famous, they were like a whole package type thing. But yes,
I respect it. It adds some class to it all. But from what I took from what you were saying, Big Ox, it's almost like this was one of the earlier venues to provide that big of an opportunity for hip hop, or at least that you had access to.
Think about like in New York, like 42nd Street in the area. There's not many places where I would say, you know what I mean, many hip hop acts can go to, like, you know, like very pronounced hip hop acts can go to, you know what I mean? But BB King was one of those spots that provide that in that area, you know what I mean? So, It's not just hip hop. It's just urban music in general. On 42nd,
that's really cool.
42nd Street. So, yeah, it was a very, accomplished. Like if you performing at BB King's, you ain't just at fucking Sally's.
Right, you're doing something if you perform there. Yeah.
Okay. So this is like a real deal, like venue. Like you probably can sell tickets to this thing level of thing.
You're going to sell tickets to, nigga. I can't.
Yes. You're going to sell tickets,
Understood.
and you're going to have people that's going to come to your show just because they're going to BB King's. Yeah. They don't even have to know who's performing tonight.
Still paying for it though, because it's at BB King's.
You get me?
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Was that the Mob Deep show or the Boot Camp Click show? As we talk about that,
I don't think it was either.
That's a lot of shows. That's some cool names. Okay, we can get to all of that, but let's run it back. So you're in high school, or you're in middle school. No, you were at the private middle school with the advanced education, and you're a big fan of hip hop at that time. But are you also getting into the freestyling and the rapping and any parts of the culture yourself?
I mean. So what happened was, my whole shit. Like I was a great athlete. Right. So I was a good athlete. So I had the ability to go to the schools, whatever else. And my brother went to public school. So when I come back from school, I'd be in the hood, you know what I mean? Because we was broke. But I went to the super duper rich school. And my education was on tilt. So I'd come back and it'd always be that whole balance of, oh, you talk too white in the hood, you know what I mean? But then when I'm in school, I'm a kid from the hood. You know what I mean? So it was always like, it was a weird balance you had to deal with. But then I was only attracted to music. And then my mom, come in. It's not a lot. Can you get it for me, please?
Twitch life. It's just how it be.
So I was saying, so the whole dynamic was crazy, but then in that same time period, 7th, 8th grade, I got to my first rap group called Little Hoodlums. Man, niggas used to hang on the block, whatever, they call themselves Little Hoodlums. The older niggas was Black Thorns, you know what I mean? And it was like the first time I've ever like really tried to rap, you know what I mean? And niggas freestyled on that a little bit on the block, but like coming up, it was like, it wasn't like till high school and shit. And you know what I mean? Me being in a fucking private school, I body everybody. You know what I mean? Like, and I'd go to other parties. I think I always had the confidence in myself. So go. Hold on 1 second, Holden, B.
No worries. I'll take the time you need. Hope everybody watching is enjoying the vibe. So it's wild because he like steps away and then it just cuts to like the background of him performing in the background. That just kind of leaves us with him still, which I thought is a very pleasant effect, to be honest. Welcome back, Mr. Big Ox.
Hey, I'm back like I never left, forever fresh. This is the year that we're gonna take everything.
So you guys was just out there on the corner, just kind of freestyling, doing your thing, but you also had the older guys around.
Nah, because you know what? Because the older guys was Black Thorns, and they was putting out tapes, like actual tapes. You know what I mean? So that was like 8th grade. So then we was like, see these niggas. Everybody at the time was either hustling on the block or not. And, you know what I mean? At that time they was selling crack. I mean, my whole crew was known for like microwave shit. You know what I mean? Like we do the quick microwave. Nobody would cook up. It'd be like, all right, make your order. You know what I mean? Microwave it real quick. Boom, hit the block. Whatever.
Fair enough. Y'all did what you had to do. Yeah. Or did what you did.
You know what's so funny about that project too? There was a couple there who was killing it. These niggas had a monkey selling crack for them, B.
What?
Son, they lived on the 4th floor. The monkey would come up and down the side of the window with the money and the crack, like nonstop all day. You know, that shit was crazy. And they got busted though, but that shit was crazy.
That is one of the most.
Monkey hustling for you, like nigga. If you can't get a better work than a monkey. You know that nigga's never talking.
That's wild. That is officially up there with one of the wildest things anybody's ever said to me.
I'm sorry I divulged to that situation, but it was just funny to me. I was thinking about this when we first started the hip hop crew. So the older guys was the Black Thorns, Westchester, you know what I mean? More northern Westchester, northern of the Bronx, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean? But they still nasty to me. But they was on that early Wu-Tang wave energy, like, you know what I mean, Gods on Earth and all that shit. But Lil Holden was get money, Lil Young, get money niggas. But whatever. So then, yeah, I mean, went through high school, everything else. And then I left school after my freshman year. And
Fair.
during that summer, I went an intern for Rockefeller Records.
Wait, what? How?
I went an intern for Rockefeller.
How did you win it?
How?
Yeah.
I was like, niggas is interning, trying to get into shit. I'm like, I'm gonna try to intern. And I just went there. I went straight to the fucking, was it 48th and 8th, where they had Interscope building, and found out where Rockefeller Records was. Walked in there like, I'm trying to get an internship. I was the only intern nigga from Westchester. Me and my dude, because he drove. So I was like, yeah, come with me. We in Westchester come to the city, nigga. Like, what you gonna do?
So what was that like? What did you end up doing there?
Mostly street team shit. You know what I mean?
Sort of.
But I do remember, like,
Gotta explain.
Yeah, like you got to know that. Like I inherit. Yeah, like what kind of street team stuff for all the people that didn't
Basically,
live in New York?
Street
so
team
Dame and
was
Dash was like, so you know Jay-Z, you know the Rockefeller was Jay-Z, Dame, and Biggs. Bobby Dash was Dame's Dash brother. He was the head of that department, I guess, the marketing and street team, all that shit. So I worked for Bobby Dash. So, you know, it would be like, it was crazy because at the time, like Bad Boy would have a whole street team. It was like a group of people rocking the same gear, putting up flyers, throwing out flyers, and I mean, it's making promotional shit going on. Man, maybe have somebody come through in a truck with the fucking TVs on the side. You know what I mean, the songs going on. That was the time of like Men Bleak first album. But the best part of that.
Hold on, like I've read about what you're describing in books before, but like it's kind of wild to think you're actually doing it. Like you were there.
Give him a visual, like a van of people. You figure 7, 8, 9 people. They pull up on the block. They all hop out and they spread that block with your promotional stuff.
The whole block, like that block could be empty.
Everything, cars, windows.
We'll jump out of like 2
holes, and then they hop back in the car.
The whole block is full with everything, flyers, posters, everywhere. You know what I mean? Like done in a manner of like, yo, because so say like this. So say if I'll give you an example, like really makes sense to you. So how, you know what I mean? For it to like mean something. So say if like a big artist at the time, Tribe Called Quest is doing it. I'm not the tongue, but say another big club, right? In the area, then there's gonna be mad people who's gonna see everything coming here to see the best hip hop shit going on in the city, right? If they're promoting another product like a single from another artist, like Men Bleak, who's the artist they're promoting at the time, or be, you know what I mean? So they flood the block in the area with media material, where like posters, stickers, things as such. So it's just flooded everywhere you look. The most things you see is that. And there'd be street team battles, like Bad Boy had a street team, Rockefeller had a street team. You know what I mean? There's other street teams, you know what I mean? But so there wasn't that many. It's like 4 or 5 like big ones, but it'd be like who can do the most and make sure they should stand out the most. And you know what I mean? It's what it is. Like that's what street team was. Like you hit the streets. The team that hits the streets. Street team.
No, I mean that part makes sense, but like I know I think I heard about how they had to pass a law. No, I was reading one of the Jay-Z books, and how like somebody had to like block it because they were getting too loud with the cars, and it was starting to piss people off. And so like it's like interesting.
And it's like, well, you know what they have now? Like I don't know what they call it. We're like, safe in a big area, a lot of people are there, and then one person does the first thing, and then everybody knows everybody's there to do certain thing. Like you never see that thing before. They call that shit
flash mob.
Flash mob shit. At times,
okay, yeah.
You get playing like a flash mob, like everybody's just out there on some regular basis shit, really. And then at a certain time, we're like, oh yeah, Rockefeller t-shirts on certain shit. Men Bleak is, you know what I mean, putting up posters everywhere. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it would just be a thing that would be either wrote about, read about, or people would talk about. So, you know what I mean? These are companies trying to promote product. When the more people talk about them in the streets, then it spreads elsewhere. You know what I mean? It hits Manhattan early. It goes to all the boroughs and everything else. You know what I mean? Like, that's how it was.
Yeah, that's wild to think because, like, yo, what's really interesting in that, right, is like you're talking about some of the biggest names in marketing at the time and
That's what I'm
how they
saying to you. Like that's what they did.
and how much effort they put into it, right? Because I think a lot of times you see people drop shit these days, and like, there's that like belief that you're gonna be good enough, and it's just enough, right? But then you think about how the best people in history had to do all this shit just to make sure that they got the numbers and shit that they were going for, and it's just like it's crazy.
But think
Because like
about it.
I don't,
You think your
and the
most
fact that that's illegal.
is it ever your favorite MCs the most successful?
Sorry.
Like, think about it, how many times in your life have you been like the else MC you think who's the else MC is the most successful MC?
Yeah, not usually.
Not usually, right? Like you don't have to be the best in the art to be there, but to be in a part of that art and be part of the business and the market of it, like you have to find ways to be talked about, to be seen. I was putting some of my Jesus theory. Because I always have people like, artists coming up trying to do independent stuff, like saying, I'm the ill seven. Once people hear me, I'm gonna be everywhere. Sold in that theory. I'm like, no way, hell. Like, think about it. If Jesus came out your wall right now, into the room you're recording all this, right? It was like, yo, you're the one I chose for the resurrection of the next resurrection of Jesus. I'm going to be at Giant Stadium next week. Make sure you bring all my believers there. What the fuck are you going to do? You think you're going to pack it out? You think you're packing out Giant Stadium?
Nah.
Exactly. But like, think about all the people that want to see Jesus, that believe in Jesus. This is, you know what I mean? Think about it. Like, all the followers, like, really. If Jesus is really coming, how many people, like, there'd be millions and millions of people there. But how many people can you reach?
I could not reach enough people without, like, I don't even, like,
Fill the fucking
if I knew the answer to that question, how to reach that many
media room,
people.
you know what I mean? But think about it. I mean, no reality. Like, you have to understand, like, reach is reach, and you can't, like, your shit just don't spread because you're nice. It has to be a means of way to, you know what I mean, take advantage of markets and, do as such.
Yes, I
Yeah.
definitely agree with that. That's one of the
Anyway,
biggest
that's why
lessons I've
I was saying
learned.
that based on what the whole street team situation is doing and does. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
but the fact that you were like a part of that
shit that
shit.
happens in the city gets talked about, especially when it's flash mobby, like when people
No,
support
I
people
mean,
going to be around. So
that shit gets talked about to this day.
yeah, but when it
Not
gets
just
talked
like,
about, it spreads. Like people, you like it's crazy. Like people will hear about it in like 3-4 states over. This is before cell phones and all that. You know what I mean? The Instagrams and Facebooks and all, you know what I mean? Even AOL really, you know what I mean? Like really, it was like before that time. So it's like that's the way they did it, but it really worked. Like, you know what I mean? Like there was a way of being, what they call it now, going viral before going viral it really existed. You know what I mean? But a different manner.
yeah, I would empathize with that. I mean, like,
And if you
at the
think
end
about
of
the
the
top
day,
companies, especially on music, they did those things.
and
It
they
wasn't
were
just
pretty
based on the music
successful
alone,
at it.
carrying.
I just think it's a wild thing, right? Like, I don't know that it ever went like that in Montreal. I feel like y'all are braver and push shit way harder than my city would in terms of disregard for the law for the sake of posters. I mean, some parts of town, yeah, but not most of the city. So it's just wild to like think about how y'all were running it, and it was just like put together at almost this giant contest across the hip hop sphere, almost all for the betterment of everyone. Because
Yeah.
while everyone's competing,
It was always
this
fun rivalry though. You know what I mean? Like, but it was always a rivalry.
but it's one of those rivalries where everyone wins
Yeah.
because nobody's really losing in that. I mean, maybe you might lose an individual battle off on a given record versus record, but like the whole culture wins on that shit. It's actually wild to think about. So you're like right there then in the middle of, I guess, the entry levels of the industry, kind of getting exposed to actual marketing and actual
Facts.
branding campaigns.
Facts. I met Jay-Z like 2 or 3 times and whatever, who everybody else, but the else time from that was my best summer ever. Just because of this. One thing that happened. They did what's the name one night? They did the tunnel. And the tunnel's a famous hip hop club in Manhattan. You know what I mean? Like the tunnel, if you perform in the tunnel, you killing it already. You ain't getting even invited to the tunnel unless you're killing it. You know what I mean? You top notch of everything. So I mean, this was when the single Meth Bleak is, and this when I was there for like good 2 months already, and then they did the release for Meth Bleak is, and then like the performance at the tunnel. So me being from Westchester, you know what I mean? Like I'm more up in the north. I'm like right by the North Bronx, like Fordham Road and all that shit. Where like you know what I mean? Fat Joe Punish from. You know what I mean? Fordham Road was like a famous like you know what I mean mixtape block and hip hop gear block. So I
Okay.
remember that on the way there, I was wearing something, and I had some money. So whatever, we stopped at this spot. I forgot the name of it. Was it Jimmy's? Jimmy's was other shit. It was a famous store that had all the mixtapes in it. But they just got these new Rockefeller velours in. You know, velour was that shit popping. It was like a silver ill velour that I never seen nobody rock before. And I was like, I had mad money in my pocket. I was like, fuck that, splurge off, rock that shit. Whatever, it's gear. You know what I mean? But so we get there, so they letting everybody into the what's the name, into the tunnel. So whatever. So then Dame is going in with everybody else, and the street two niggas try to come in, and then Dame grabs a couple niggas. He grabs me and my dude and some other dudes. So we in the back when everybody's going on stage. So you know how you try to make the whole team look deep on the stage. So we all the niggas is there, street team niggas, everybody else, whatever else there. But on the front of the stage, it's Hove, Beanie, and Bleak, right? And this damn doing his dance and shit on the stage. And I've been to town before, like on some like go in custom and shit. And you know it's long, but on stage, it looked like it never ends because it's like it really is a tunnel that like goes right whatever. But so because I think and I can only I know I would it wasn't because the way I was dancing. I just think I was rocking that velour shit, crazy that new shit. This nigga Dane grabs me and pulls me to the front of the stage. Now not to dance with him, but like on some like so like I'm on the front stage of the tunnel. This is the most epic hip hop spot you can perform at. I think at that time period that exists. Not just New York, I think in my mind that exists. So how I look at it. I'm on the front stage of the tunnel with Hove, Beanie Siegel, and Meth Bleak, and me and Dame like, and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just like, you know what I mean? But me, that happening, the word that spread around from that, I didn't have to tell nobody. The word, before I even got back in the whip, I got back in the whip in the street. Like driving back because I was in North Westchester. So it took like an hour plus to get back, you know what I mean? Niggas is talking about it that fucking night. With Flex, yes, nigga. Excuse my language.
You can swear.
Yeah, with Flex.
You're
like
good.
Sunday night with Flex, Rockefeller. I'm on stage with Jay-Z, Beanie Siegel, and Memphis Bleak. And I'm rocking that velour, so I'm thinking that's like, I'm a big dude too. You know what I mean? Charismatic, whatever. But why would Daniel just grab me? You know what I mean? I'm thinking it's because of the new velour shit. He's like, all right, this nigga rocking new shit. Bring him in front. He just grabbed me, whatever. Put me in front of the stage. I'm like, oh shit. Do the Dame dance. I don't know what the fuck I was doing. Whatever it may be. It was the best summer ever. Like before I even got back home, driving. After the party everything was over. Niggas is talking about that shit in the streets. You know what I mean? Like this nigga Ox on stage with Hoville, like it. You know what I mean? That shit right there just gas people up to a mindset of like, oh, this nigga's on. I wasn't on, nigga. You know what I mean? But the whole mindset of it was like.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's like I think people see it like that. Like you have a moment that's incredible, but really, like isn't that what being on is though? Having incredible moments.
Yeah.
If you think about it with the wisdom of true adulting, that's some real shit, bro. You got to be on a stage with Jay-Z and shit. Like,
yeah, that
yo,
shit was
people,
like it was like nothing else I ever felt
people
in my
might
life.
even put up $1 million to have an experience you got. If you really think about that shit, I'm sure motherfuckers would pay Jay-Z real money to be on stage with him.
I met Hov after that too. I was with Vice too, yo.
That's wild.
Huh? Bianca was there too. Oh yeah, Beyonce. So yo, I forgot what was the name of the spot? Happy Ending, right in the Lower East Side. So they have a reggae night. Like I think it was like Sunday night. So you know what I mean? I used to go to my nigga Israel. I used to rock with a reggae artist. So we went there on a Sunday night. It's me, Vice, and this nigga Israel. So we go in there. But my nigga Life, my homeboy Life is a producer. But he did a lot of shit with boot camp and all that. we know a bartender from Sutra who does Tony Taco Tuesdays, which is, you know what I mean?
I
Where
have
I'm
no
in,
idea what that
that's
means,
where I met the
but
queen in
sure.
the north, Taco Tuesdays. I met the queen in the north at Taco Tuesdays. You know what I mean?
Sort of. No,
You know the
I
queen
don't
in the
know.
north? Waiter.
Mm.
I met
Okay, okay,
her
yeah.
at Taco Tuesdays.
I was more okay. It's more I don't know what the Toka Tuesdays is, but like I get what you're saying.
Yeah, either way. So
I
my
hear
boy
you.
Life, we know bartender from there. And every time I walk in, he made me look like the man for some reason after me and my life. I used to go out by myself too, when I was grinding or whatever. So then I'll go in there, I'll give the nigga like $40. He give me a bottle of champagne every time, you know what I mean? Some Moet. And like 2 glasses, like do what you know what I mean? He made me look like I'm flossing when I wasn't really flossing at all. But he would hold me down like that. So I remember it would be the same way when me, Vice, and my man Israel went to Happy Endings. So then Jay-Z and Beyonce was behind us, right? Vice said something. So I'm at the bar, I ordered champagne and shit, like turn around, trying to act like a boy. And I'm like, yo, Beyonce, yo, Hove, you don't need anything? Yo, good? I got you. You know what I mean? They were like, nah, nigga Hove is like giggle mode. Like, nah, we good, Hove. You know what I mean? Like this nigga think you go buy us drinks, you know what I mean? Whatever. Either way. I'm sorry to talk this whole shit up so much. There's so much I want to tap into. I don't know what your time limit is. So 9, right?
Bro, this is great. You're doing the things perfect. Like you just spent a bunch of time telling us how you met Jay-Z and shit, performed at the tunnel, and then you know how you ended it with I've only met Big Ox in real life one time, which is actually a rare statement to make on this show in my life. And Big Ox is a character, right? Like he's a character. Like and to see him be like, and so I turned around and offered Jay-Z the drinks. I'm like, Jay-Z never gonna forget you, but Jay-Z forgot a lot of people, I bet.
Yo, it was like he had the smirkiest, funniest laugh for because the way I did it probably. It was like, I got y'all in case y'all niggas needed. It wasn't like I'm buying Jay-Z and Beyonce drinks. Like, y'all need a drink, right? So yeah, I got you.
But that's it. That's amazing, man.
He was like, nah, we good. I appreciate it though. Like, I was like, all right, if you need anything, let me know. If you ain't got much money left, I'll take care of you. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm sure he appreciated that though stills. Like I'm sure for him, that's a much better interaction than the version where somebody wants Jay-Z to buy him a drink. That's a good lesson, man. That's a cool story, stills. So you basically
I was born giving. You got to give to get. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like I don't expect anything in life, man. If you ain't giving, you ain't getting. Like I don't know. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know how some situations like that, people like always saying got it, pay for this, pay for that. I'm like, nah. I'm saying I'm taking care of people anyway. Cause I don't know.
That sounds a little bit like your upbringing in the communal Jamaicanness kind of tied in and gave you some shit.
My biggest fault. I give too much for everything. You know what I mean?
Maybe
but at the same time, I learned it from her. You know what I mean? Like I come home from college or school, whatever, and niggas I even fuck with is eating in my crib. I'm like, the fuck these niggas eating in my crib for? You know what I mean? My mom couldn't say no to somebody that's hungry or something like that. You know what I mean? So it was like, what do you do?
I suppose in that situation, you're making a good point. If your mom be teaching you to be a decent human being with charitable attributes, you may as well be a decent human being with charitable attributes.
What's our time frame left?
I don't know. I'm good for a while.
Okay, I don't know. I want because I know I want to touch on the Crown situation, of course, and my whole and the Idea Factory also. If you have an opportunity to get towards any of that situation.
If you want, we could just do that right now. Like you gotta understand, in my head, there's like a flow to getting to know your life, but like if there's things that you feel you need to get out, man, you're the kind of guy where like, nah, you just go, bro. We just let you go, and you dropped Jay-Z knowledge on us. Like,
yeah, but
I'm not gonna get into that.
Actions in life, things happen. I've seemed to put myself in that situation a lot. You know what I mean? Like just cause, you know.
not everyone does put themselves in that situation. So that's kind of why we do this, right? Because the story of you and how you see the world helps other people go, okay, so if Big Ox put Big Ox into these situations, then maybe there's something from the way Big Ox perceives life that we can all learn from.
Yeah, like the first time I ever performed, it was my freshman year. My freshman year in college, and Buster was upstate New York. I went to Hobart, All American my freshman year, also football, so you know, and I played basketball, bing bong. Anyways, nice. Anyway, rock and scoring. Anyway, so Buster was doing a show at Ithaca. And I mean, that's when I first started writing. I started writing raps to hoods and all that, but it wasn't like I'm trying to be a rapper. But once I first went to college, I was like, this shit, you know what I mean? I'm writing. I'm trying, I can spit. Fuck that. I love hip hop too much. You know what I mean? This is pre-Rockefeller, actually. The first year before Rockefeller. So then Buster's doing a show, and he's walking in. I'm like, saying, I'm like, I don't know nobody here. I'm going to be the person that runs up on Buster Rounds walking in the spot. Like, what's good, Bus? It's Big Oscar Yonkers. What's going on, man? Look, folks, you whatever else. And then same thing with Spiff Star. And Spiff was like, yo, you spit? I was like, fuck yeah. And he was like, yo, I'm gonna call you up. I was like, yeah. Of course I'm not thinking that shit, yo. But of course, in the middle of the show, this nigga Spiff was like, yo, Big Oscar, so you get on stage? I'm like, yeah, nigga. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm not saying like, I don't know. I guess I'm not inhibited.
No. I mean,
You know what I mean?
anecdotally,
Like, I just go for it. Like,
I saw
like,
it. I mean,
life is
like,
life. Can't live
the
too
way I
long.
can put it is, I watched you talk to every single girl that walked by. I mean, like,
Somebody's
and
got
what
to
I'm
do it.
saying, like, literally, right, there would
I'm
be a
trying
guy
to set it right for the
right
future.
next to the lady. The guy was not in regard. It didn't matter. And I was like, I don't know that I have confidence at that level. I was like hit with this moment of like I'm fairly confident. I'm not that confident, and it was not lost on me. You definitely exude this energy, but it's also like, I mean, to be fair, Jamaican dudes really come with that energy, and it's super jovial in a big way. So it's not that surprising.
Yeah, I think it might be a Jamaican thing too, though. You know what I mean? Like we feel free. You know what I mean? Like there's no like, I don't know. And
It's a
it's just
vibe.
me. My brother's not like that, so I can't even say that. Like most people in my family even not even like that. My mom is heavy. So's my dad. Like there's no like holding the tongue about anything like that. Like there's no like reservations. There's no nothing that comes to this. Like from the first time I had a girlfriend, every girl I ever introduced my mom to, the first thing she says to him is, from the first time I introduced a girl to my mom, don't have sex with him. All he wants to do is have sex with you. You know what I mean? Like it's the first thing she says. Not like, not nice to meet you, hello. It's like, yo, don't have sex with this guy. All he wants to do is have sex with you. Like, oh, okay, thank you. You know, all right, you just did everything. I can't even kiss this girl anymore. You know what I mean? Like, whatever.
Mom's a smart lady, all things considered.
It wasn't true. It's just like we're the area I'm talking about, like my running yonkers at the time was like heavy drugs, heavy at the time. It's when HIV and AIDS first came out, so it's like my mom was and like a lot of young girls getting pregnant early. You know what I mean? It was at that time period, so it was like, you know, everything to, you know what I mean, escape your kids from as such things that's happening in our community as far, hard as possible. So it was like, you know what I mean? There was a time, I think like even my Bernie uncle was ranked #1 in New York State with HIV and also like teen pregnancy. You know what I mean? So it's like, so my mom was like from Jamaica. So like if she hear and see this shit in the news and seeing, it's like she gotta save her boys. You know what I mean? Like I don't care if she got cop blocked. You know what I mean? Like she gotta save her boys. You know what I mean?
That's real love, though. Like your
Facts.
mom put it on. That's big respect. I really like that story.
Yeah.
So you started writing raps for Real Reels in college.
Yeah. And then whatever. It was crazy because then like I went to school, played football for my freshman year. I left school, did that. That's from Rockefeller. went back to school where I met Vice. And like my best friends, Rob Smitty, George, Al Diggs, you know what I mean? Like they were all in my quad freshman year. Not freshman year, I'm bugging. It was my between sophomore and junior year. Sophomore to junior year.
One of the years, the
Whatever.
middle years.
And before I went back to school I finished school in Chicago. But either
Okay.
way, so I met them, and it was just like Vice was like our fifth roommate. You know what I mean? Like I had a whole two student room, and it was just me. So you know what I mean, Vice was just stay at me and shit. And we stay over, you know what I mean? Like, and then that's when I first started like going downtown and shit, listen to hip hop, because you know what I mean, Vice did it. This nigga was out there looking like fucking six-packed out, looking like fucking, yo, this nigga VZ used to have the fucking six-pack on the shows, like Ramen take his shirt off, girls going crazy, like, yo, it was mad funny. You know what I mean? Not at the time, really, but just think about it, like, you know what I mean? Like, VZ used to really do that shit. You know what I mean?
I mean, if you got the 6-pack, you do that
yo,
shit.
Son, he was decent at the time too. Him and Pro was a little decent at the time. But they actually these niggas will get to a point it's too sweaty and take the shirts off. Like my brother did ask for like they know what they was doing. Like, I see you, nigga. I wish I could do it with my tummy, but I can't. You know what I mean?
It's just not the same now. It doesn't look like that.
But yeah, so that's when EOW first started, really. You know what I mean? So
right. Okay. So you just kind of you just kind of got sucked into the inception point of EOW because y'all was just living with Vice.
I mean, yeah, and Rob. I mean, it's crazy, but the circle, the way it's so like interconnected, to explain it very clearly is like doesn't make any sense even trying. But it's so weird how the interconnections of everybody that's involved are involved. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah. It was with Vice, but it was also with George and Robbie and Al Diggs. You know what I mean? It was also with Bomb. And also it was like the connections of it like was, you know what I mean? The way it all really formed. In my mind, when I'm seeing it, I'm there. I'm not one of the founders. I'm there that whole time period of going on for, you know what I mean? Vice was, you know what I mean? Jason Voorhees, you know what I mean? Hockey mask everywhere, you know what I mean? So it was like that to, you know, I mean, that EOW starting and like seeing the whole shit start was like, it was one of the most, one of my greatest memories I think I ever hold in life. You know what I mean? Like in all reality, because there's, you know what I mean, to see what came from what to become what, you know what I mean? Like from birth to growing up. It's like seeing a little, you know what I mean? Like the kid grow up that you used to know when he was born, and like from the time he was born, he was this, and now he's a grown ass nigga. And you're like, oh shit, look what this nigga's doing now. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know what I mean? It's a blessing to have the ability to say I actually saw that whole process in a manner. You know what I mean? I wasn't there every day, but I saw the whole process from the birth till now. You know what I mean?
I would argue that is a big blessing. I mean, I've talked to the other founders and heard their stories, and I mean, at this point, I've talked to a lot of people who have been influenced and impacted by the dub, whether it's somebody like a Poison Pen or whether it's honestly people up in Montreal. Like, you got to understand the dub is like responsible for the first Quebec hip hop show that aired on like regular ass TV, and the Homeboy Basics was like on TV and shit. Like, it was like
that Basics went in, so everybody went in. That shit was fire, man.
And it was like
fire. That shit's so fire.
So like
even seeing that as a part of it, like really with the real understanding of it, is like, you know what I mean? Like the power that's within that, you know, maybe I guess I won't say unknown or known or whatever it may be, but like, you know, there's real historical and just not just hip hop history. I'm talking about this history, historical essence of that really exists. You know what I mean? That can be documented at this time, and I'd say, you know, 50 to 100 years from there, who knows who's talking about what happened when, who, you know what I mean?
That's like, a great point. Nobody really brings that up. Everybody acts like they know.
Really think about it though, you know what I mean? Like Like
Like you
and
gotta like.
the shit
Do you
that
think the people like in the 1500s knew that we would?
the shit that Olivier got, like going, you know what I mean, talking about the origins of the dubs and having like the original fucking the you know what I mean, certain what they call them flyers, posters and like shit came out before that will never be duplicated again. Can end up in will in my mind it should end up in some. No, not everything, but some things will be in the hip hop museum.
Well, I mean, if you look at it like really, really big picture, right?
Who
Like
knows how
you'll
to do
check
it?
it.
It
Like
should
I think you have a
be
really
interesting to think
interesting.
about it. Like it is. That's I don't know what else.
No, but check it. Like I think people like
NFT.
kind of drop a lot of labels
That's the
like
end of the
what's
week.
no, but like you have an interesting case for it, right? Because people look at history funny. They think that like what's hot today is gonna matter in 100 years. Like we don't know that Michelangelo was hot back in Michelangelo's day. Michelangelo, from what I understand, struggled. Like he was like struggling on church money and shit. Like it wasn't a glory. And now we praise this dude like the greatest artist. But if you were to go and Google end of the week's accolades from like a real data centric point of view, y'all are in how many countries? Y'all have how many joints collectively produced and put out across the world? How many events over time? It's almost unprecedented in terms of the
and,
cohesiveness for hip
and
hop.
it's not just statistics. It's impact. You know what I mean? Like the history of it and the impact it had. It's not just the MCs out there that were part of it. There's party promoters. There's DJs. There's producers who have all been affected by that as such. Also, you know what I mean. There's writers. You know what I mean. So it's like it was an impact in just the history of New York for one, but then it would expanded. Like that's something that can't be redone. Like that impact was already made. It did that. That's a part of history that's already cemented. You can't go back in time and change that, brother. You know what I
Ah,
mean? So it's
but
like,
like on top of that,
I don't know.
it's like end of the week is just bigger now, arguably, than it ever was. I mean, like it's wild to me. Like I knew end of the week existed kind of because it was in Montreal, but like I'll be real, I avoided a lot of the French shit for a minute because it was French shit, and it's just kind of like that sometimes.
Did you say French shit or French shit?
Yeah, French as
French.
in the language,
Yeah.
shit as
Shit's
in
soft.
the term for like, yo, I'm an English person in Montreal. It's like I know disrespecting, but like, yo, French
Oh, you
English
don't
shit
speak
is
French?
weird. No, je suis bilingue, je parle français, mais
Oh,
it's like
what?
this weird socio. I
I don't
said, yeah, I
either.
do. I speak French. I'm bilingual, but it's like it wasn't a
Oh,
choice. It was like you get this choice at one point in life. It's like, do you want to make money or do you not want to make money? And if you want to make money, speaking French is part of that shit. And it's like really weird. And it's like they do some
sounds a
crazy
little like
government shit. It's just a lot of weird socio-political culture where like the French and English
oh,
people are super divided.
hold it real quick. You sound a little electric. Is it just me?
Yo, hold up. I gotta fix that. It's gonna take 2 seconds. I have to restart my sound shit.
Got you, brother. It was like statistically, increasing the frequencies, whatever. It was just talking shit. But yeah, man, I love it, man. Like I just love how the effect hip hop has had on people's lives. Like the only time I ever cut school in my life was to buy a hip hop
Should
tape.
be good now, right?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, can you hear me?
And I was saying, like it's just crazy when I look back on it myself, at least when I think about it, how much hip hop has affected my mind, body, and soul. You know what I mean? Like the only time, like I never cut school ever. The only time I ever cut school was to get a hip hop tape. I think it was my first year in America. Self destruction, self destruction. You headed for self destruction. You probably know that record. Self destruction.
Yeah,
You
I
headed
actually
for
have heard
self
that, yeah.
destruction. Ooh, my God. I was like, whoa, what's that?
But yeah, basically, I was just trying to like say like I didn't get that involved with hip hop end of the week back then because there's this weird English French shit in Montreal, so I just kind of avoided it. And then I met the people in 2020, and then I discovered end of the week is like almost a Pandora's box of culture. Like I just gotta think. All I've talked about is one of the cities, and most of my experience was in New York. And I bet if I talk to the London boys, it's gonna be a whole situation where they got just as deep a culture. Then I'm pretty sure in France there's one. I know I ended up linking up with one of the dudes that fucks with the Swiss one or the something out there, like one of them countries. And like I was just like, wow, man, everywhere you look, once you discover end of the week, it just like kind of pops up all over as this like low ending. It's almost like if you don't know end of the week and you're just talking a lot about a shit, it's like proving a little bit ignorance in the bigger picture.
Yeah.
And that's something I learned about how deep this shit really goes with so many, because it's not, because you got cosigns from like real names. I mean, look at that whole situation on Instagram recently.
I understand, but I mean, let me tell you, I'm in New York where like all the music shit going. I don't say all of it, but like, you know, the original, like a lot of real deep hip hop origination. And just like I would say it's the impact and the love that it gets on a level, it's something that can never get measured in any way. So like, oh, it's been written about here, it's been talked about here, it's been these things have been done, you know what I mean, done business with the word may be. Like the impact is something that is unmeasurable. Like, you know what I mean? Like this the emphasis of the words being said by certain people in certain areas. It's something that like, you know, carries what they say, carry weight. Carries
Right.
a lot of weight through a lot of impactful times. And, you know what I mean? In New York City history. That's all.
I'd argue you managed to hit Quebec history. So like to me it's pretty wild. Like there's
Yeah.
hard facts that hip hop history
How long has the guys been in Quebec? Do you
seven,
know?
8 I think it was I've known of it. I think it was 2012 ish, maybe a little earlier. I've seen Facebook posts dating back as early as 2013
Okay.
because they share all the memories and shit. And 2012, 2013, around then. Um, and then y'all broke the history with TV. So like, I mean, it's in French, but it's still end of the week on the TV show, and that's wild to me. Like that was a big moment. Like that's like it was unprecedented. Like I'm pretty sure all of us were like staring at that shit. Like that's real deal TV. Like, and we know people on it. It isn't like just some whatever. And the fact that like your influence hit that far, that it hit my life, like, that's wild. I've been to New York one time, and like other than that,
Is that when I met you?
yeah, that was my first time in New York.
Nice. I like.
That was crazy night. I was an inch. I don't even stay up till 4 in the morning very often.
That's my wake up time. That's when I'm
That's
like, yo, it's
very
time to
early.
get ready to go out.
That's
I learn.
that's very early.
I learn from the worst, like dudes like Julio.
I don't fully know what that last part meant, but I
Me
feel that
neither.
still.
But you know what I meant. You know what I meant when I said it.
I feel that Julio has this energy where that made sense. But let's go back to you then. So you're getting involved in the dub, and I know just because I want to make sure we don't forget it. Like you want to, is the crown? I don't know where the crown comes into the story. Is that an end of the story thing? Like I don't know where that fits.
The crown is now.
Okay, so the crown is the now part of the
The
story.
crown is more than now, but the crown is now. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I'm saying like I came through Vice in the beginning. It's my people's. Eye to eye. You know what I mean? Then the whole dub situation, you know what I mean?
Right.
And whatever. I was there for years, and I went back to school in Chicago. You know what I mean? Finished school in Chicago, came back.
What did you study?
Economics.
Let's say word. That's dope.
Yeah, I was a banker for a couple of years. Lake Forest College, North Chicago.
Like you're a banker?
You ever seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly where they shot it. In Lake Forest, Chicago. That's what I went to college.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
And you said you were a banker.
Yeah, for a couple of years after school. You know what I mean? Like
that's serious.
Man.
Like
that was at the time when like banking went bad. You know what I mean? But I won't get into deep to it. But it was like, you know, I went into banking with the mind state of like, I'm doing this for the betterment of people. You know what I mean? And where they put me at, you know, I was with JP Morgan. I was getting a lot of, you know what I mean, black and brown customers with a lot of money. So, you know what I mean, get into the market with banking, you know what I mean? But there were products with, they were giving us a lot of big incentives for. If we sell these products, our checks are going to be this much bigger, right? These were the products that fuck up the whole banking system in America.
Right.
I'm saying,
The subprime mortgage shit.
like a double. I'm being slow right now.
No, I know, like the mortgage shit, the bundles,
like
and the
getting double mortgages,
yeah.
things and such. Like there's different products that went with it in certain certain markets directions that will give us great incentives if we get our customers to go there. You know what I mean? Do these things, and like that's all they preach. But then it's me in the mindset of like I'm doing this, I'm doing banking for this reason. But yet to get these people to come with me into bank, you know what I mean? Like share their life, their whole life work with me. You know what I mean? It takes there's a trust there that I built. You know what I mean? So it's like me meeting some. I'm not meeting the people I'm bringing to the fold with, you know what I mean, good with a good amount of money to go into the bank and to, you know what I mean, to have them invest in our company. Basically or have them bring their funds to our company is like you have to. There's a bond that has to be built though. You know what I mean? It's not like this. I'm a banker, you're a customer. Nah, especially black and brown people you bring in like that. To me, in my mind, you know what I mean? Like it's a bond I have to build with these people of trust and everything else. Like I have to be able to see these people somewhere else in the street, you know, and be like, oh, you know what I mean, and recommend. You know, what I'm saying is like they want you to bring in to build these relationships with these people of trust, and I'm going to do the best of my ability and knowledge ability to make sure what you're bringing me, I'm telling you to bring me, is going to in the end help like benefit you in a very good way, right? So there has to be a trust there. But then our bank is like this, yeah, get him in, but then give him this too. You know what I mean? Make sure you get him this, because if you get him this, your check is like double. At times triple. You know what I mean? But in the sixth,
that's like real incentives. That's not like little incentives.
It's not little incentives. It's like, yo, you want your check to be that check, nigga? You want to walk out of here balling? You do this too. For all those relationships you did. I mean, in the beginning, sound dope, but to have the overstanding situation and know how it's going to affect them in the long run, I couldn't live through that. You know what I mean? At least in my mind, you know what I mean? I feel like I had to. It's not something I could do. You know what I mean? Like, the reason I want to do this was to help certain type of people in a man in my mind. You know what I mean? And now I'm fucking them up, really, just because I wanted my check bigger. And I was like, I stopped there. I'm talking a lot of
that's
shit.
That's like, I mean, like that's still like interesting to listen to. Like I mean, I've only ever heard about this situation. Like, I'll be honest, I was like 20 in 08. I didn't give a shit. I mean, I knew it happened, but it didn't mean anything to me. But just the idea that you were like there. But frankly, I've never heard of a person who even said to me, I want to go into banking for good reasons. Like, up until this moment,
There's no way. Come on, man. You lying.
Nah, bro. I don't know that many bankers. I'm in Montreal. It's not like bankers is the first thing you're gonna hear. People go into business a lot, but like, yo, I'm in the land of microtransactions. We're the people that help fuck up video games, to be honest with you.
You mean help fuck up?
All the microtransactions, all the mobile games, like people like come when you see somebody open a Montreal department, that is code for I want microtransactions on my game. That's what that means, because we're really good at that. Oh, that's like the $2 purchases for like skins or the little things in it. So all those, yeah.
I need some microtransactions for my game.
Yeah, there's a lot of psychology to that shit. It's but here's the thing, it taps into a lot of. So in software land, that shit's really like similar to subprime mortgages and shit in terms of the psychological effect it has on people. Because what you're trying to do is tap into dopamine centers like crack hits and get these people addicted so that the one to
Of
less than
course.
1%.
It's
And it's wild
business though.
shit.
Like it's been done
I
for
mean,
years.
there's
It's
ways to do it that are like
for
less
years,
bad.
different ways. You know what I mean? It's been going on forever.
Yes. And that's the thing. So it's like a weird back and forth. But I mean, like, I know a bunch about conversion funnels on the end of software and the right CTAs and shit like that. It's like I don't talk about it a lot because I can't go into detail on cam. Like I'm still working for a software company, so I'm not gonna be like violating
I
my
like
contracts.
hardware. Big ops, sir. Idea Factory, Vice Vizos are backing me. Right now
You'll
he's on
see,
my
but
chest.
yeah, I respect
I don't
that.
know if
What
you
is an
guys see
idea
this or not.
factory?
So right now, what's up?
What's an idea factory?
So the Idea Factory is a branch of like businessman Jason Vice versus Williams started, and it was like with the whole idea of like Vice is a mad scientist. You feel me? Vice has always been a mad scientist. See, just everyday ideas, everyday balls, everyday everything. You know what I mean? Like every day telling you what to do with your life or what's going on to like, you know what I mean? Like really, whatever. So it was like, come to the point where it's like, Guido was like, he write joints for me. We write together. He, you know what I mean? He's nonstop ideas of doing things and how to enhance everything that's going on, even if it has nothing to do with him. You know what I mean? It'll be like, oh, check this idea out for that. That'd be crazy, right? To make them whatever. That's just who he was. That was his vice. He's coming up with ideas like this. I don't know. So whatever. Did ask, am I even lying? But whatever. So musically wise, we did something, you know what I mean? It came to a point he's doing eowtv. He also wanted to do something separate from also, and we started a thing called OZ, and then we started something or Idea Factory. Right? So the whole thing with Idea Factory, at least from knowledge of today, what I can remember was always like, Vice worked with a lot of people, wrote for, work with, show people how to structure songs, what else may it be in different manners and ways, you know what I mean? And like, I guess the whole thing, as far as like it being a structural thing, was this being talked as Idea Factory, So yeah, we started Idea Factory. And
An artist management company.
Like, yo, yeah, you can spit, but can you make a song? All right, come see Idea Factory. We show you how to do that. You know what I mean? Like, so it was like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you can write songs, but you ain't really got balls. Oh, come see Idea Factory. We got you on that too. You know what I mean? Whatever. Okay. This is things and such. That is it's way even iller than that. But like, it was just like things and such. It's like art. We started doing this artist management situation. You know what I mean? So at the beginning, it was just me, Vice, and like Jess doing it. You know what I mean? And we did a couple songs and videos and whatever it may be. Ag rock with us. But as far as now, like it was always, you know what I mean? And like I say also, because the first artist we I guess other than us we started working with is Miss Joey Badass. Right? I don't know if you're familiar with her or not, but she's the artist we started working with, and whatever, we put out like a couple songs. Vice wasn't here for the release of those, but he was here for the beginning of it. Like it was his Joey Miss Badass was his first suggestion of outside artists to be Idea Factory. Also, like we see what it says here now. We can put this together and have it become as such also. You know what I mean? Okay. It's not like, oh, we're gonna do it. I'm like, oh, but it's also, I mean, it's more of a partnership between, you know what I mean, us and them, with the mental understanding, like, we're working together as such. Rather than I'm gonna say, oh, we're gonna do this. It's
okay,
like,
but like
we
what
do
it
this
what
already.
it
You know what I mean? Like we do this, we're gonna work together and make that shit.
What does work together like actually mean though? Like I just in terms of like specifics, right? Like, because it's vague what that means. Like, what does that mean in terms of like work together? So, do you have an
Well,
example of
like,
like something you would have actually done in terms of a campaign or something like that?
well, pre-campaigning. Let's just say artist development. You know what I mean? To start, it's not even about developing the artist, but there's times you can have MC who has the best bars in life, but you put him on that stage out of nowhere, he might fold. He might fold on
Okay.
the spot. He might be best MC on the stage, but his stage presence is, he's like, oh, dippity dappity do. You know what I mean? Like, it's just different, you know what I mean, factions of music and different ways of seeing it. Like, I mean, like, I don't know, like, I say, for instance, Miss Badass, you know what I mean? She just started rhyming. She has a hunger. She has a drive in her life. You know what I mean? Like, she has like 3 different businesses. She's like 26. She's like 3 different businesses. One in Florida, another one in Miami, and no, Florida is Miami, in ATL, and New York. You know what I mean? She owns a brownstone out here in Bed-Stuy, one of the top.
What's a brownstone?
You know what a brownstone is? You ever seen that
I
in the
do not
coffee?
know.
You know what
Sorry?
a brownstone is?
I do not know what a brownstone is. No, I'm in Canada.
Brownstone,
Doesn't have all the same
brownstone
shit.
it's not a building, but it's a housing, right? There's a lot of them in Brooklyn. You see them a lot. It has like the ground floor, next floor, next floor, next floor.
Okay. So it's a type of house.
Yeah, yes, but usually it's different people living in each floor, different apartments, or
Okay.
someone holds a whole brownstone. If you're able to rock it like that, you know what I
Okay.
mean? Like the Cosby's had a brownstone.
Okay.
You know
I
what I
might
mean?
kind of
That was
understand.
very nice, very super nice Harlem brownstone, but it was a brownstone, like, you know what I mean? Like it's in Harlem, but it's a brownstone. It's a certain way of structural housing. You know what I mean? Whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm
I
saying,
have never heard the term before,
she just has
but
a
thank you
drive
for
in life.
explaining it.
She just has a drive in life that Vice saw. You know what I mean? And a hunger to get nice and MCing. So, like, you know what I mean? We did put out a couple songs and made some good money with them. You know what I mean? So she, like,
So,
I don't think prior to rocking with us, she had the whole I want to rap to okay, hone that into the ability of creating a full strong structure, right? As far as that's something that'd be, you know what I mean, available to the radio. What else may be? As far as like what structures are acceptable. You know what I mean? As far as like, verse, chorus, chorus, verse, you know what I mean, like a bridge here, however it is, but like, there's a difference from being able to spit bars and doing as such. You know what I mean?
so in a sense, it's like help. So if I can translate that, it's helping an artist go from I could rap real good or I could do whatever to creating commercial products out of their art.
Yeah, I guess, but in a manner, but no, I would. That sounding exactly like that. I don't think it's it. I just think it's like,
Or at least to hone the product of the art to create more appeal, which
exactly.
ultimately will result in more commercialism to the art.
Praise the Lord. You said,
Like, I
yeah. So
mean,
anyway,
and nobody wants to admit that there's like a whole business side to it, but it's
it's not
totally
even
like,
business though. It's like it's a thing like amongst artists. You know what I mean? Like, and a lot of artists, when you think about it, that's the difference with Vice is. Everything is to most artists is competition, even if it's your friend that rhymes. Somewhat, you know what I mean? Vice is all inclusive. To me, I mean, he's always was. It's like a mind state of like, you know what? If you're around me, whatever may form, I want whatever you do to be its greatest means of form for you to express yourself in life. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, even if business, like, there's no dollar amount have to be given to for that to be expressed. You know what I mean?
so I meant it more in being able to make money off the song, not in terms of y'all doing
Oh
business.
yeah,
Cause
well, the
like,
songs are gonna make money regardless if they're right. So yeah, you're right.
that's what I'm trying to say. Like, cause yo, check it.
I
You
just don't
could
want to
have
say
a,
it like that.
I'm more blunt than that, cause yo, like I'm in the
You
game.
smoke more blunt than who?
Nah, but like it has a lot to do with so just because I don't think people have that perspective that you have with it. That's why it shows perspectives, right? Because how many people really do that kind of work? And like at the end of the day, if you're able to take somebody and explain to them what can be done to flip a
Yeah,
song
but
into
you know what I mean, and
dollars,
everything going on. Also, everybody sees that you can do a lot over the internet here or there, but it's a way of being like show you can have total control over your music in all matter, shapes, and forms. It's like
right?
giving the artist that, you know what I mean, like
And I'm not because I
giving them
I
the
don't want to
ability,
like.
giving them the ability to have total control of their music. Reality. You know what I mean?
And I don't want you to make it sound like this is just like the evil
Listen,
label situation. I
listen,
mean that.
help me out here. Help me out here. Joking.
No, no, and I don't want to make it sound like y'all are just like in a manipulative situation or anything. It's
Oh
more
no,
like
definitely not, man. The
it's like
Angie's
it's more the opposite. It
Angie's
feels like
fans over here.
it's
All we
like
do
an
is
empowering
all we
situation.
do is make hits.
That's it. It's but you create also this empowerment for an artist to understand how to make hits.
Yeah,
And there's like cuz you're like I've listened to enough of your guys' music where like y'all can blend the authentic underground with some pop shit real nice.
yeah,
Like I
thank you,
believe
brother.
I remember that hook that
And
you played in
which
the
one?
bar. Wake up,
Wake up. Let me have to
kick up, or whatever.
wake up, get my money,
Yeah,
cake
I
up,
remember that shit.
wake up, ready for
Like,
whatever, no pressure. Every day me wake up, yeah man.
I mean, I heard it that one time, or maybe you played it 3 times in a row, but in the bar. But like,
Still
that was
remember
it.
right now?
And I remember it to that point
Oh my
later because
God, man, you know
the
that
shit got stuck in my head. Because
what
that's
it's
a
supposed to
hit.
do though. That's what it's supposed to do. Everything's supposed to impact.
So
You know what I
like
mean?
to hear
Like,
that, it is a huge difference. Cause yo, you were like, nah, bro, and you broke down the whole bars behind it. And
come
because
on.
I will never forget they were red in Flacco's face and shit. It was like
Yeah.
really, it was a moment.
I can't stop myself from that because it's like this is my belief. You know what I mean? Like
So the
it's
fact that like you're able to create a song that sound blessed and add the conviction behind it is what creates commercially viable products in music in the underground.
I guess so. I mean, I learned how to write from Vice. Vice really taught me to. I mean, I rhymed before that, but like just to really see how to write rhymes, like you know what I mean. Vice put me on some real shit, like, and then I was like, then I had Ag too, you know what I mean. So it's like these was the dudes like Ox Ramo. Let me show you this. Let me show you that. You know what I mean? Like I mean, it came from the sharpest swords that ever existed to me in my life. Like not say make, but I used to have Vice dumb down his rhymes, which are still like lyrically like backflipping, like doing all types of Olympics over niggas' heads. Like, and that's me. That's me dumbing them down. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like with the lyrics being so intricate. You know what I mean? Like, and the syllables being placed so perfectly placed. And it's such if you understand like any poetry stance, you know what I mean? Like, and that's what me, like I'm saying, that's what me like also I'm like, yo, chill. These niggas in the world will never get any of this. I kind of like regret that in a bit I don't, because I still say it has to be comprehensible, but at times like just the ability of showing that prowess that a lot of times was regressed from. Like to me, it was like at the same time, it's like, damn, you know what I mean? Like those are the things that could have went down in history. It's, you know what I mean? And it, like, because it wasn't just MC and ramen. There was like historical poetic stances that were placed. You know what I mean? So intricately put. You know what I mean? Like that's like where I learned from, and we created the Idea Factory. You know what I mean? We had the whole idea. We put out projects like the V Day 1, V Day 2. You know what I mean? We did the whole what was the fucking mixtape? The freestyle mixtape we did. We were the co-defendants. You know what I mean? This was the cover for the co-defendants. I don't know if you can see me or not. We put out the co-defendants. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
those are joints that we're going to have available for streaming within the next week or two before his birthday. And we're trying to get all the for his you know what I mean, for his whole profile on all streaming platforms together so the songs connect. You know what I mean? But once that is done, like everybody's gonna be able to hear all this other work that this nigga did. That was fucking retarded. You know what I mean? Like beyond, to me, like beyond life, when it becomes comparable to, I say this to any MC, any person I know in the world. Like, who's your favorite MC? Right? Give me your favorite 16
Shit,
bars.
man.
I say, give me your
That's a
favorite
hard
16
question.
bars. I bet you, my nigga, my brother right here got 16 bars. I got for you, and we'll have the public decide what's iller. Bing
No, you
bong.
got you guys could turn that into a whole show for your channel.
Yeah, my dude. Like, I know it's been a long time. I still ain't get to talk about The Crown, man.
Yeah, I know. We have time. I was watching the clock, don't get me wrong. That's why we brought the Idea Factory, and now it feels like a perfect time to move into The Crown.
Yeah, let's move to The Crown, man, real quick. So post whatever. What they call that shit? No, post Life's
what?
not being here. Postmortem album.
Mm,
It's called The Crown because he's the king. You know what I mean?
right.
This is the cover for the album. It's funny because I wear this like every. Have you ever seen me on any social media anytime? Because that's when I take the pictures that means anything. I'm wearing this, so people probably think I don't wear anything else in the world. Like Ox is wearing this shit every goddamn day of his life. I'm just joking.
It's okay. People appreciate a person who has a favorite hoodie.
It's not a favorite hoodie, man. I'm doing what I have to do for my brother.
I hear you.
And representing him, you know what I mean? He's always in front of me, he's always in back of me. You know what I mean?
All right, Birch,
I
that's
believe
beautiful.
even after like he might even have a tat of me. Ooh, bar, big bar. Not bugging. I'm joking. Yo. Nah, but yeah, so we put an album together, man. It was me, Kendra, Bong. I mean, it was like everybody together. Just James, Aguilar, you know what I mean? Like homeboy Dax, you know what I mean? Like Slane's on it. Who else is on it? Dinko D, Shaban Shadiq, Zoo, Big Zoo, you know what I mean? Whatever else may be, like the album is like, you know, like all the other songs I'm talking about that we did was on some mixtape shit. I'm just talking about the quality of sound and everything. Like, I just think like Vice would be mad proud right now about his project, the way we made it sound and what it made it do. Like, which is what he deserved from then. You know what I mean? But we just wasn't up on it. And you know what I mean, at that point. Regardless of what, this album's exceptional. You know what I mean? And like, I just love me. I know music. It's just exceptional. From like first track to last. You know what I mean? You guys will play music on this song, right?
You, you could probably get away with that. Yeah, you're fine.
I
You
don't know.
guys are the
No,
well.
it's
You
not.
guys, hold on.
Not
If you're the
that.
distributors of it, you're the ones who control the rules about the music.
Nah, I'm talking about for your show.
Yeah, I'm saying if you guys are the distributors of it, you can play the music if you share audio and it be like legit. You guys can play it. You're good because you're
Oh,
distributing
I
it.
know. I'm well aware of that situation. I'm just saying that on your show, do you usually play music? Is that something that you do?
If somebody has something to play, once I found out I'm
Come
allowed
on,
to.
God.
No, no, no. I'm
That's
saying it
Idea
legit. Like
Factory. Look at it. Look at the picture. Vice
I
Weezy
see it.
right in back of me, nigga.
What I'm saying though is like once I found out that it was legal and I could do it, yeah, you can.
I was just gonna play the intro of The
You can play
Crown,
the intro, man. We would
and
love to
like
hear
I
it.
mean, I'm saying like just so you understand what the you know what I mean the quality.
We definitely
So,
want to hear it, Big Ox.
and you know, but what I'm saying also is like throughout this whole time, me and VZ made a bond at some point where like he wake me up, you know what I mean, all the time. Like I go out after hours hustling, whatever else back then, but he, you know what I mean, he was, you know what I mean, he was Kendra. He like, you know what I mean, we chill, and then he had to make moves, take care of his shit. And then me, I'll be out till late night. So most times he wake me up, but he was like, if we're gonna see each other at these times, whatever else, we gotta do at least a chorus a verse, a bridge, something. Like we ain't just gonna be just like, oh, we see each other chilling. Nah, if we're gonna do that, like we've done that all our whole lives. Like we're gonna do that anytime. We got something. I got like, so oh man, I wish I could tell it right, but like, not just even recorded. Chorus is here, verse is here, bridge is there. It's like verse here, bridge here, song here, like it's retarded. And I'm like, I'm trying to figure out whatever's that. And exactly, I'm talking about shit. But
So
anyway, this is the
if
intro.
I understand, you just have a bunch of snippets of shit that you and Vice put together because y'all made a pact to start making productive use of your time together and make sure you bang out some shit each time you chill.
But it's like next level though.
Right.
I'm talking a lot of shit, but you know, it is what it is. It's the idea factory, man.
And I love it.
I want to get more in depth with it because, like, what the idea factory did was like, yeah. Well, come in the month, Idea Factory, VVS.com. Website is going to have all videos and music available time there. You know what I mean? And all the artists we work with, like Pennywise, Miss Badass, Just James, who starts. You know what I mean? But here, this is the intro for the crown. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is one that's called Vice Vincent. It's the intro. And I hope you enjoy.
Now, before the party begins, once the door is locked, there's no way out. The windows have bars that a jail would be proud of.
Take a good look around the hood I found. Boogie down, crooks is out to deceive with that crooked smile. But living is hard, swimming with sharks. Why wouldn't I drown? I made a note to stay afloat on a wave of folk. Nigga, look at me now. The place I'm at relates exactly the way I've been. It's scary when I'm lost. I find myself there within the violence. Sirens, mind spins within the lions. Then reminding me why I've been trying to move in silence. Say no more as we break the law. Beat trial, make the raw, escape court and go away on tour. To make them all understand what I am when they hear I'm from. I'm weird and young and nowhere to hide, so fear becomes fun. Right there in the slums, where it all begun from year one till there's no more air in my lungs. Never waited for a miracle to come. Tears run like rivers when you scared of the image you become. We're looking at the mirrors like staring at a gun. Your heart beats to the pulse of the streets.
Right now, I could not do EO-Dub, but EO-Dub is still gonna be beyond me. All of us right now, me, Pro, Zoo, we go up and be like, you know what? We're not gonna do this anymore. And there's at least 250 to 300 people who are still gonna carry on this legacy beyond us. In New York, yes. We back, niggas!
Oh shit, pardon me. I'm having a little trouble with my camera. I'm gonna get it back in a second.
No worries at all.
So
That was pretty intricate flow. I see what you were saying about precise syllable placement.
like it's not a game, man.
No, I hear it. I hear what you mean.
He's exceptional with it.
I felt like authentic and hot, and I liked the bars. I really enjoyed the flow of that. I'm not the most expressive person, but that was very enjoyable.
Oh, you're pretty expressive to me.
I respect that.
So
But like, no, that's really cool. It's really amazing that y'all were able to get together and create that project. I know I've heard a lot about it, and
what
I'm excited to
saying,
hear it.
is like this is something based off like I have so much of, you know what I mean? Not I ain't like trying to say it on some shit, but I'm saying like, you know, like there was so much more work to do and so much more to come out because Vice would always be on some like get it out, put it out, get it, you know what I mean? And I'm like, we gotta wait for the perfect right time ever to make sure we are the capability to reach out the masses. And I'm like, there's no perfect right time that's ever gonna come.
No, not really. No.
Like, you know what I mean? Him not being here gives you the mentality, at least ideal, like in your mind, like, you know, who knows when is what or whatever. This is our historically, this is what we have. You know what I mean? If you Google us and you look up anything going on, like, this is what we have. So you have to get it out. You know what I mean?
I think it's really cool that you're able to do that.
Yeah.
I honestly like.
And now we're able to do it. That's for us, for the artists also.
I mean, I just think it's incredible that you're able to carry the vision through and bring it to completion and show that at the end of the day, it's like the power of what the dub does across history. Because, like he said, it really is going to be a flag that gets carried on. Like, for all you know, in 200 years, and you are back, it's good to see you again. But in a couple hundred years, for all you know, end of the week is really just some shit that people be rapping around the world like it is the culture. I'm not like saying it 100%, but like that's not impossible. That's like a viable thing. That is the deep roots that have been planted at this point in time, and I really respect and admire that shit. Um, Honestly, it's really cool. I'm really bad at the hand signals. Kendra was like, "How could you not know how to do the hand signals?" I'm like,
I mean, me neither. I never know which E is right.
I'm like a middle class
If it's
white dude that
backwards,
never
forwards,
does
like you only
hand
get it one
signals.
time. I know
And
double
then,
V's can't be twisted. So if double V's is VVs. But regardless, I'm saying, like, I want to tell you, like, The Crown is coming out, man. Like, wondering why? We released the first single with the video, wondering why. It's out right now. You should go YouTube, search for it. Go to Tidal, go to Spotify, go to anything you got streaming, go to iTunes, go buy that shit, go support. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell another friend. You know what I mean? If we don't keep it up, who will? We have to have the ability to. You know what I mean? Like, support. We're here for a reason. You know what I mean? We ain't putting that shit in our pocket. That shit's going to the Versus Foundation to build more art for the world. You know what I mean?
yeah, and shout out the Versus Foundation for the people that don't know about it.
You know what I mean, though? And it's like, if you're gonna have anything you do in life, you know what I mean? Why not put it towards, and you love hip hop, like, you know what I mean? Support that. At least tell a friend to support it. Have the ability to have your friend be able to ask you about it somewhere. Post about it. Tell a friend to post about it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just little things. You know what I mean? It's not like you say somebody say support. You ain't have to, like, if you ain't got the money, you have to go buy the album. If you can't, go ahead and do it. Because, you know, finance is always support, but you put a friend on that's they even post. That have their friends, help their friends learn about it here and there. You know what I mean? Every small step is a step. Stepping stone to the next step. You know what I mean? Like, and you know, I think we all have to carry each other. You know what I mean? Like, who else is going to do it? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I respect that a lot. And I
yeah.
respect what you're saying too. I think a lot of people undersell the value of that stuff. Like, nobody, in my experience with Facebook, people don't click on shit, but people definitely pay attention to when your shit gets shared.
Yeah,
So they're aware of shit.
right?
So it's like they're aware of shit. And then maybe the 9th or 10th or 15th time they see it.
If you see other people have interest, then you may have interest.
And it's not even going to be early on. It's going to be like,
no, you have to see other people have interest.
I'll fucking swear, sometimes it's the 8th or 9th time I see some shit that makes me actually click on it and like makes me go through with the connection. And it's more like I saw it and then I didn't care. And then at some point you're like, okay, fine. And then you never see it again. And then it's like, but it's interesting to me, like, that you're bringing it like that, because it kind of just shows how it works. And you're saying it so basically. At the end of the day, like, yeah, this is still kind of what it has to be, coming from like the street team peoples and shit.
But that's what makes a difference. There's a humanity impact rather than just a digital shit you see. Like, you know what I mean? Like, someone who you rock with, you see in a spot that rock. You know what I mean? You guys don't even have to be good friends, but a certain spot, you guys rock to the same type of music in that spot. Like, when he tell you about some other music shit, that's going to impact you more than you see the commercial. Or, you know,
always, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, that's literally like what I was saying at the beginning with the Liddy Bros situation.
Yes, but that's what it's about. We have to tell each other about these things. We have to talk to that. I know it's old school means of communication, but that word of mouth is everything. Everybody texting, emailing. It's like, yeah, we can all communicate as such, but like, The human impact is worth more than anything. And Vice did that shit from the beginning. You know what I mean? Like truthfully, you know, everything in the world. Like although you say all those emails and text me a lot, but if I tell you, you gonna respect it more. You know what I mean? Facts. The same way if like the ass. Like if Hov was on stage tomorrow, he's like, yo, go get that Crown, new Vice album coming. It's gonna be different for anybody else putting up any post out. You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely.
but that's how hip hop should carry each other.
And I
They
respect
will
that.
at some point, you know what I mean? But we'll see.
I think you're.
But the idea factors around the world.
But like the thing is about the music era now is the concept of new has shifted drastically, and I don't know that everyone's figured this out yet. Your shit could pop whenever. Like, I mean, literally, like 5 years later, some group of people can just discover it, and it's basically like it just dropped.
I was saying Panda like 2.5 years before it ever came out.
That's the thing.
On my block. I think it was on my block in my hood, always playing Panda in the whip with his man.
And
Panda. That same shit everybody loved crazy, like that Kanye song. That nigga was right here on my block playing that shit in the fucking little Honda boo boo. You know what I mean? Like almost every day, like you hear that shit like, what the fuck is this Panda? It's just not catchy shit with Panda. Nigga, like 2.5, 3 years later, boom, it hit. You know what I mean? So it's not like, you know what I'm saying? Like, those things happen. You know what I mean?
I think
like,
I think it's gonna happen more.
When I say 2.5 to 3 years after, from the beginning of me hearing it on my block every day, that's when it popped off.
And I think that's just gonna happen more because of the way people consume music via algorithms, and algorithms don't. Yeah, I see that. Don't worry, Danny. I'm always watching that clock. But like I think with the algorithm world, it's interesting is people almost rely on the algorithms and new releases. And if the new release thing has a song from 1972, that's a new song to somebody, and that's like a brand new shit with music, which makes it honestly amazing because your shit. Well, for one thing, I think it's like it transitions now to more of like art again, where like people are kind of appreciating the more timeless nature of music. And I just think it's cool. So like it just kind of validates what you're saying about almost creating that snowball effect for the quality. But
Pardon me about
yeah,
that.
no worries. I was watching it.
With the Crown, right? We got a next single coming out called "Count on Me." It should be coming out on the 1st of February on Vice's birthday. So look out for that.
Definitely.
Maybe end of the month or the month after, exact specific date. We have like the video or two coming out with it. We also launched Idea Factory, VVS.com. So everybody get a chance, please make sure you try to get to there and subscribe to that. See what we got going on Idea Factory. It's not just me. It's not just Vice. It's not just Jess. It's all of us. It's all incorporated with the art that we believe in. You'll see artists on there like Pennywise, the Flatbush Barbie. You'll see Miss Badass, you know what I mean? The queen of best style on there. You see other artists coming up who are incredible. But first and foremost, you have access to all of Vice's music. You know, I'm talking about all the mixtapes prior before the V days, the items, and music videos also. We also have options up to for the artists, you know what I mean, as far as helping them with their publishing, helping them with their writing, helping them with their distribution. You know what I mean? Like we're here to help the art. We're here, as you know what I mean? Like it's like arts for arts, really. You know what I mean? In a manner, like we have these services, but it's not done for. It's business, but it's also done to encompass and have the.
Nah, but like even to that end, even if y'all were doing it for all the wrong reasons, the world still kind of needs artist services because everybody want to be like. Everybody want to be like mad independent until it comes time to talk business, is what I come to see in my like little anecdote of life. So just the fact that you're focusing on creating an ecosystem that candidly explains what the products are and builds the relationships with people, yo, like it's actually really important. And then just to see what y'all are doing with the Versus Foundation, where it's like, nah, y'all are like in a very literal sense taking everything you're doing and giving back. And it's like it sets a model for other people, like even such as myself. Like I've been inspired from End of the Week's actions over the last couple of years, and it's impacted the directions I've chosen to take to focus more on community and things like that.
About it
What?
Is that like me, Vice, and Miss B were like the three amigos. Have to, to have the accomplishment of her helping me anyway or being a part of Idea Factory has put a fucking battery in my back of life, and I can't even like attempt. But it's just like I don't know. It's just like
It's a good thing what y'all are doing.
Yeah.
And it's necessary because I don't think people
how I operate to have Danny help me out with everything else going on. It's just changed everything to me as far as what Idea Factory really encompasses. You know what I mean? And like we'll show the world, slowly but surely. You know what I mean? Once again, the website is ideafactorybs.com. Make sure you go there for all the thing going on with Vice. We have and everything else, all the arts we got going on with. Just to keep it current, and just to find means of helping other different artists coming up that may have access to certain things we have access to. We can show them how. We'll, you know what I mean? Our goal is to partner up with them. They're not just client. Nobody's gonna be able to client with somebody that's like doing business with us. You're partnering up with us. To help, you know what I mean? Whatever it may be. So, yeah.
I appreciate that.
Right.
No, honestly, Big Ox, you're a very interesting dude, and like you got layers to you. Like
Also, I got 2 songs out, Shiny Wolves and Greenwood District under the title of The Saints. Can I play another song? Is that cool for you?
Yeah, you can play another song.
And, I mean, and that's just, I got a project with my brother called The Saints. You know what I mean? I know we almost on the 2-hour mark, so I'm trying to rush these out right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also,
I hear you.
Yeah, Pennywise is coming. The Flatbush Barbie. You know what I mean? And Vice's album, The Crown, of course. It's right here on my chest.
I don't have like a hard stop at 10, but 10-ish because I got work tomorrow. But we good still. We can play your song, Big Ox.
It's not 54. Somebody kicking it.
Nah, we good. You can play your song, Big Ox. I want to hear it.
I got you. I'm gonna do that right now. So this song right here is called Greenwood District. I don't know if anybody know what Greenwood District is. It was the original Black Wall Street.
Okay, now I know what that is.
Well, whatever it is, they burnt it down and killed all the lynch and killed most of the people in there. Take over land like America always does. But you know what I mean, it's just me. And here we go.
I ain't going back to jail. Next time the county or the state see me, it's gonna be bad. What they can do is a real trade, man. You scared cause you good?
Hold on. You come in my house. Don't you ever bring scared business to me. You're looking at the toughest rascal Jamaican in the United States of America. I run shit. I kill for nothing.
I gotta think about later. Gotta get that paper.
Gotta get that cover.
More cribs, more acres. Might just get some land in Jamaica. I gotta think about later. Gotta get that paper. More cribs, more acres. Moved up from the minors to the majors. Stayed in my lane, you know a nigga done played his part. Too many lambs came in the game claiming they got heart. And we can change mentality, enslaved from the start till we broke out of them chains. Had to change our heart and claim the art. And now everybody follow it. Fuck 40 acres in the mule or record deals. We want scholarships. Black lives matter. Racism abolish it. Is it politics? Are we headed to the apocalypse? Gotta do it ourselves. Ain't nobody gonna save us. Choose to take flight. Mr. Benjamin Davis. Born to brave. That's why the haters pimp and portray us. It's nothing but drug dealers, athletes, and entertainers. We was blind to the facts, but they can't hide the evidence. Black CEOs, doctors, scientists, black presidents. Matter of black, nothing but black excellence. Matter of fact, it's been that way ever since. I gotta think about later. Gotta get that paper.
Gotta get that cover.
More cribs, more acres. Might just get some land in Jamaica. I gotta think about later. Gotta get that paper. More cribs, more acres. Moved from the minors to the majors.
Shit, I'm preparing for the worst, expecting the best. Feeling like I got lost along the way. Heck, some vex. Ceiling pulling me, gravity stress. But I gotta get up, no time for the left. The right side, asking the left brain, yo, what's next? I'm mirroring what was to see what is next. I asking the man in the mirror, yo, check your steps. No more moonwalking, forward stepping in. Annie, are you okay? Yo, in this life, too many act like a guest in instead of a member only in. Fine, playing the role of a jester, temporarily existing like a tester. Too many need a charge, must Tesla. Hold on to them grudges later that will fester. Ancient feelings resurrect the resurrector. Too many jokers in this game. Shit, I be the heckler. Protect your neck, I'll wreck you. Shit, I be that bone collector.
I gotta think about later. Gotta get that paper.
Yo, that's dope. You are muted, but it's dope. So we didn't hear what you said.
Yeah. Anyways, the album's called The Saints. It's
Yes.
me, myself, Big Ox, featuring St. Thomas. My middle name is St. Patrick. His first name is St. Thomas. The album's called The Saints. Strictly another intelligent nigga with talent. You know what I mean? Which we both are. So we're gonna be displaying that talent a little quick. 10-song, under 25-minute jump off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it sounds good. That was a good song. It was power.
Right. So we're gonna
appreciated
release
that.
that with some singles soon, you know what I mean, and rock and roll. We got
That's
The Crown
super
coming
dope.
out soon. Pennywise, Flatbush Barbie, Idea Factory, VVS.com. Make sure you guys lock in, subscribe, become a part of the family, you know what I mean? And you know what I mean, it's a pleasure to be here.
Yo, it's
Holden,
great
you know
to
what I mean?
talk to you. It's good to talk to you, Big Ox. I mean, in this case, it was good to see you again. Because again, I did get to, and he is very big. He's a tall fellow. I can tell you
Yeah.
that much. It was super cool to meet you. I know it's super cool to hear your story. All things considered, you got some interesting experience. I know we didn't even touch them all. I know that for you, we could do like another 3-4 episodes, and you would manage to keep pulling out unique content. And I say that as a real compliment, because I came to
Facts, whenever you're
understand.
ready, I got you though.
Yo, I'll let Danny figure that out. But
Yeah,
when it
I
comes
mean-
down to it, it's like media presence is not something all the rappers be doing good at this podcasting thing. It's like they can
you
do
know,
the
it's
stage
weird,
thing.
man. I was born to shine, so it's something different.
Even
about
some
it.
people who you're like, yo, say word, like on a stage, you're
I'm an 80s
ridiculous.
baby, it's something different, man.
And the conversation
You know
is
what I
like,
was
yo,
saying?
but nah, so you're like a pleasure, man. It's definitely
Bless,
like, yo,
yeah,
I'm
you
like
know,
sitting
it's
there like,
it's a pleasure to have you here, man. On some real shit.
nah, it's
It's a pleasure to have
crazy.
have me here, rather.
Yeah, it's
Let me-
great.
Let me say that correctly. You know what I
Nah,
mean?
but like overall though, the whole experience of being involved in this, like it's a flex to be like, yo, I got a show on the end of the week. It is what it is. Like,
Nah,
you know,
nah,
just
we
to be
work.
like part of it all, like it's cool. Like to hear the history and be like, oh, say word. This is like living history
It's
of the
built off
history.
of love. You know what I mean? It's built off the art. It's built off the culture. It's not something that's being done
Nah,
on
it's
some
bigger.
like, you know what I mean?
And it's
Nah.
and everybody that I've talked to from anywhere that's involved in it is consistent to that point where it's a love of the culture. Where like if anything, I'm maybe a little bit on the outskirts of everyone else's love of the culture, and I'm more like that friendly neighbor, just curious as fuck about this shit. Cause yo, it's been like
That's a beautiful, but that's a part of it. That's a part of it too, though. Don't get it twisted. That's a
I
big
agree.
part of it. You know what I mean?
And-
I'm trying to say the appreciation I have of you having this role also is tremendous because it has to be a part of it. You know what I mean? And always,
I
you know,
agree.
would if I was Vice, I'd be like, yo, you gotta lead your role with the situation, yo. Like, I have so many ideas to make sure that nah. I'm saying like, but don't ever don't I mean know the impact you may be having without even knowing having. You know what I mean? Like
I mean, I play a little more meek and humble on camera than I do about the impact, I believe. I mean, end of the day, it's like, I don't think there's a lot of people that are as ignorant as I am to some of the base level shit. So it helps me translate things to other
it
groups of
helps them
people.
too.
And it's like
It's not
wild to
everybody,
think.
but it's, I mean somebody.
Nah, I mean, I think we've done a lot in terms of, like, I don't know, across what, just in me being able to talk to people, right? Like, New York City and hip hop culture means something a little bit different now. And seeing end of the week, seeing even just watching the finals, that like just happened, and watching like just the overall experience of it, and just considering the vibe of it is, it's just something special, man. It's just like a whole different experience of being. And then you realize that there's all these people, especially in certain parts of Canada, that might not be aware of end of the week. And this like way that they talk about hip hop without being cognizant of a lot of stuff here. And it's like, nah, there's almost like a need to like express that what they're looking for exists in great power. Like, I guess that's a way to put it. Cause like, it's pretty incredible what you guys can pull off, and what I've seen in just a short period of time. I've watched you guys maneuver, and just the fact that you guys migrated from physical location, real life, to internet company of publishing power is pretty fucking remarkable.
That's a part of the impact that you can't like define. You know, which I was speaking of earlier. That's a part of how it has impacted the whole culture. Being able to, you know what I mean, maneuver as such. Like those were roles that were earned, not deserved. Not deserved, were earned. You know what I mean? Like through time and work. You know what I mean? So it's what it is.
I mean, it's just evident, man. But I appreciate you, Big Ox. I appreciate this conversation that we had. I feel like everyone I have like this helps me, like, enhance and grow it. Anybody that watches this, consumes it, like, they just got a lot of knowledge nuggets and big blessings from like the wisdom that you shared. Yeah, it's my shit, bro.
Right there. Get your knowledge nuggets up. You know what I mean? Like
that's it, yo. Because that's like
knowledge nuggets. See? So I ain't gonna say you copyrighted, but nigga, copyrighted knowledge nuggets.
Nah, I hear you, bro. That's like the main. That's my main shit on Twitch, bro. Is to get the knowledge nuggets. We drop it.
That shit right there is a go. I promise. I'm telling you. All right? Remember I said that.
I will.
Knowledge nuggets. Either way, before we get out of here, real quick, I just want to say, thanks for having me again. I really appreciate it, King. You know what I mean? I appreciate what you bring to the culture too. Like, don't get it twisted ever. You know what I mean? Don't anybody undermine anything. You know what I mean? Or even blow your head up. Or blow your head up. Or blow your head up on it either. But
yeah, nobody blows my head up on it. Trust, but most people are pretty cool with it.
No, I'm saying, there's no, you're playing a great part of it. You know what I mean? And also, that being said, I do want to say The Crown, Vice Versa's new album coming out soon. You know what I mean? On his birthday, 2/1. What's the name of the song? I'm featured on it. Count on Me is available. Second single, the first single, Wondering Why, WANDRING Why. It's out right now with the video. Count on Me video coming out shortly after the singles release. I'm coming out shortly after also. Either way, pay attention. All information will be able to be seen on IdeaFactoryVVS.com. IdeaFactoryVVS.com. Also go to eowtv.com. But on IdeaFactoryVVS.com, all things Vice will all be available. It to be seen.
Awesome.
Knowledge base of when things are being released and what's going on and everything.
You described that a couple of times now.
I'm doing it again, but
I know, I hear you.
I got to.
I appreciate the importance of your passion and perseverance, but ultimately you're really good at the aggressive forms of marketing that are effective in this regard, and it sticks. So like, what am I going to tell you what to do?
I appreciate
On the other hand, I appreciate you sharing it. Make sure to go to eowdub.com because it has all their other shit and it's way simpler to just go to eowdub.com and we are on their platform. So it's super important to give love to the hosts.
Go to eowdub.com for everything going on eowdub.
And big love to them and everything. I appreciate all of you. Definitely gonna see y'all again in the future. And thanks y'all for being here. So yo, live long and prosper, everybody.
Oh, shit, that nigga hit us with the fucking Star Trek.
Yeah.
Got you, King. Yo, peace, King.
Yeah.
Right? Use the forks. Out your soul. Yo, Danny.
Take care.
Over and out.